Well, in these meetings, so let's say your annual review meeting that you have, when you meet in your annual review meeting and your advisor goes over the receipt of outlining all the fees that you pay in dollars and cents for these investments, the fees that you pay in dollars and cents in these mutual funds and these other products you have here. When she goes over the receipt of the fees that you pay, are you comfortable with that conversation? Your client might answer, what receipt are you talking about? The receipt that they go over that explains in dollars and cents all the fees they pay. Are you comfortable with that? Well, they look at each, if it's a husband and wife, they're looking at each other wondering what receipt. Well, okay. You don't get it. All right. Well, well, then how do they communicate to you in dollars? I guess they probably just tell you what you're paying in dollars and cents. You have, let's say, $500,000 here in these, mutual funds, which, by the way, I know these funds. They look like they're okay. Nothing really. How do they communicate the fees you pay in dollars and cents if they don't give you a receipt for the fees? Oh, well, they don't communicate that? Okay. Well, let's just take a look here and see what you are paying. You've probably never heard of Morningstar, PalTrack, Global High Sales, but they pull, I pull something out of role play for a second. I put one of these computer programs up on the screen, and I confirm on the computer, on the screen, that the client can see that these are the funds they have, which of course outlines the fees in dollars and cents. And go turn back to the client and say, these are your funds that are on this statement, that are on this computer screen, correct? They confirm it, and I explain what the fees are. And if it's, to use the example of $500,000, and let's say it's all in equity funds, I'm paying well north of $10,000 a year in fees. So I might ask the question, so how does that dollars and cents fee get communicated to you? Well, I think they said something at the beginning, something about it's 2% or 2.5% or whatever, but I'm not sure. And you've had these for how long? Oh, 5 years? Okay, so you paid somewhere around $50,000 a year in fees then? Yeah, I guess we have. Yeah, yes. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. How, in the conversation that you have with your advisor, 2 times a year or 3 times a year or at least once a year, the value that you're getting for these fees that you're paying, how, in the conversation that you're having with your advisor, and they tell you or you tell them exactly what it is that they're providing that would justify fees, some metric calculation, some dollar value of what it is that you're getting, how does that value get explained to you? Or how do you explain to your advisor what it is that you believe that you're getting? Or how do they explain to you the dollars and cents value of what they're providing? How do you ascertain value? Well, well, we have a meeting every year, right? And value is determined how? Well, I'm not sure how we do that, how that's determined. I'm not sure. Well, he just goes over everything, or she goes over everything, and if we have to make changes, we do. Changes in what? Well, in our portfolio. Right, but aside from that, how is value? I'm not sure. Okay. Well, maybe it's not, maybe it's not that important. Let me ask another question. The conflicts of interest that your advisor is, for lack of a better word, exposed to. The conflicts of interest given the fact that they earn more fees if you win. I see that you've got of this $500,000, you've got most of this in equity funds. The fact that they get more fees in equity funds versus bond funds versus money market, that conflict of interest, how was that explained to you in your last annual review meeting or these meetings that you're having 2 or 3 times a year? How did that get explained to you, the conflict of interest? what will your client say? At a role play, what will your client say? They're probably going to say, it wasn't explained. If it wasn't, they're probably going to say, we didn't know we're not aware of these fees. If it wasn't explained to them in dollars and cents, we don't get any receipt. They're probably going to say they weren't aware of value. They don't know what the value is. They don't know what the fees are, and they don't know what the conflicts of interest are.